Folks, let me tell you something right off the bat. Life is not a smooth highway with no potholes. It's not a straight shot down a paved road with clear skies and no traffic, no sir. It's more like a winding country road. Sometimes it's bumpy with ruts that jar your bones. Sometimes there's a big old tree falling right across your path. And sometimes you hit a mud puddle so deep it slows you to a crawl. Those bumps, those trees, those puddles, they're obstacles. They're the things that make you wonder if you're ever going to get where you're going. But I'm here to tell you today that every single one of those obstacles is an opportunity in disguise. It's a chance to grow, to learn, to become something more than you were yesterday. The question isn't whether you'll face obstacles, because, folks, you will. That's not up for debate. It's a guarantee written in the book of life. The real question is this: what are you going to do with them when they show up? Because here's the good news, and I want you to hear me loud and clear. You've got the power, the God-given ability to turn those obstacles into stepping stones to success. You're not helpless, you're not hopeless, you're equipped to win. Let me show you how, step by step, so you can take charge and make something great out of what looks like a mess. First off, let's get our thinking straight, because everything starts in that 6-inch space between your ears. The way you see a problem determines how you'll solve it, or whether you'll solve it at all. If you look at an obstacle and throw your hands up, saying, well, that's it, I'm done, there's no way around this, no way over it, no way through it, then you've already lost the battle before you've even laced up your boots to fight. You've surrendered without firing a shot. But if you look at that same obstacle and say, hold on now, let's slow down and think this through. There's got to be a way through this, over this, or around this, and I'm going to find it. Then you've just opened the door to possibility. You've flipped the switch from despair to determination. See, your attitude is the paintbrush that colors your world. You can paint it gray and gloomy with storm clouds hanging low, or you can paint it bright and hopeful with sunshine breaking through the horizon. I recommend the hopeful approach every time, not because it's easy, but because it works. When you see an obstacle as a challenge instead of a dead end, you've already taken the first step, the most important step to turning it into an opportunity. It's not about denying the problem, it's about deciding you're bigger than the problem. That's the mindset that separates the folks who get stuck from the folks who get ahead. Now let's talk about what happens when that obstacle shows up, and it will, in all shapes and sizes. Maybe it's a job loss that knocks the wind out of you, leaving you wondering how you'll pay the bills. Maybe it's a health setback that puts you flat on your back, staring at the ceiling, wondering if you'll ever feel strong again. Maybe it's a dream that didn't work out the way you planned, a business that folded, a relationship that broke, a goal that slipped through your fingers like sand. Whatever it is, the natural reaction is to feel discouraged. That's human. Your heart sinks, your shoulders slump, and for a moment, you feel like the weight of the world is crushing you. But listen to me, you don't have to stay there. You don't have to set up camp in the valley of discouragement and live there permanently. The difference between folks who get stuck and folks who move forward is action. It's what you do next that counts. You've got to take responsibility for what you can control. You can't control the obstacles showing up. It's there, it's real, it's in your face, but you can control what you do about it. Sitting around feeling sorry for yourself, replaying the why me tape in your head, won't move the needle 1 inch. It won't pay a bill, heal a wound, or rebuild a dream. But getting up, dusting yourself off, wiping the mud off your boots, and saying, what can I do right now, today, this minute, to make this better? That's the spark that lights the fire of opportunity. That's the moment you take the reins back from life and say, I'm still in this race. Let me give you a practical step here, something you can do with a pencil and a piece of paper to get your head on straight. When an obstacle hits, don't just stand there staring at it like a deer in headlights. Grab a piece of paper and write down 3 questions. What's the worst that can happen if this doesn't work out? What's the best that can happen if I tackle it head on? And what can I do today, right now, to move toward the best? That little exercise does 2 powerful things. First, it gets your mind off the panic, off the swirling tornado of worry, and onto the possibilities, the things you can actually affect. Second, it gives you a plan. And a plan, folks, is like a roadmap. When you're lost on that winding country road, it shows you where to turn, where to keep going straight, and where to watch out for the mud. Too many people stop at the worst that can happen part and camp out there, building a little cabin of misery and staying put. Don't do that. Push past the worst, dream about the best, and then focus on the what can I do part. That's where the gold is buried. That's where you start digging your way out and building your way up. Another key to turning obstacles into opportunities is learning, really digging into what the obstacle can teach you. Every obstacle, no matter how ugly or painful, has a lesson wrapped up inside it, like a gift hidden in a plain brown box. I've never met a successful person, not one, who didn't have a string of failures behind them, a trail of stumbles and falls that would have stopped lesser folks cold. The difference is, they didn't see those failures as stop signs, red lights flashing, give up. They saw them as schoolhouses, places to sit down, open the book, and learn something new. When something goes wrong, don't just curse the darkness. Light a candle and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Maybe you learn patience, how to wait when every fiber of your being wants to rush. Maybe you learn a new skill, like how to piddle in the old way doesn't work anymore. Maybe you learn who your real friends are, the ones who stick around when the chips are down, instead of running for the hills. Whatever it is, that lesson is a tool, a hammer, or a saw you can use to build something better next time. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of the recipe. It's the flour in the bread, the heat in the oven. You don't get the loaf without it. The only time you truly fail is when you quit learning, when you throw the book out the window and say, I'm done studying. Keep learning, and every obstacle becomes a classroom for success. Now let's talk about persistence, because this is where the rubber meets the road. You've heard me say it before, and I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Success is not the absence of obstacles, it's the courage to push through them, to keep going. When every muscle in your body wants to quit. When you hit a wall, don't turn around and go home, tail between your legs. Look for a ladder to climb over. Dig a tunnel under it, find a crack to squeeze through, do what it takes to keep moving forward. I remember a story about a farmer whose well dried up, the water just stopped flowing one day, and most folks in his shoes would have thrown up their hands. So that's it, I'm finished. Sold the land and moved on to greener pastures. Not this fellow. He grabbed a shovel and started digging deeper, day after day, through dirt and rock, sweat pouring down his face. And wouldn't you know it, he hit an underground spring so big it not only watered his crops, but supplied half the county with fresh water. That dry well was an obstacle, a big dusty roadblock, but his persistence turned into an opportunity bigger than he ever imagined. You've got to keep digging, folks. You've got to keep swinging that shovel, even when your arms ache and your back screaming for a break. The spring might be just a few feet deeper than where you're ready to quit, just a few more swings away from breaking through. Persistence turns can't into can and won't
into woke. Let's shift gears a bit and talk about creativity, because obstacles have a way of shaking up your thinking when the usual way doesn't work. When the road you've always taken is washed out, you've got to find a new way. And that, my friends, is where innovation comes from, where the light bulb clicks on above your head. Some of the greatest inventions in history, the things we take for granted every day, came from people who ran into a problem and refused to let it stop them. They didn't have what they needed, so they made something new out of what they had. You can do the same thing right where you stand. If the door's locked and you don't have the key, don't just kick it and walk away. Build a key out of what's in your toolbox. If the bridge is out and the river's raging, don't sit on the bank and cry. Construct a raft out of the timber around you. Your mind is the most powerful tool you've got, sharper than any axe, stronger than any machine. Use it to turn that roadblock into a runway, a launching pad for something bigger and better. Creativity doesn't wait for perfect conditions. It thrives in the mess, in the mud, in the middle of the storm. Another thing to remember is that obstacles often show you what you're made of, like a mirror held up to your soul. They test your character, your backbone, your grit. When things get tough, and I mean really tough, when the wind's howling and the night's dark, you find out whether you're the kind who runs for cover or the kind who rises to the occasion. And here's a secret I want you to tuck away. You're stronger than you think. You don't know how much weight you can carry until life puts it on your shoulders and says, lift. You don't know how far you can walk until the road stretches out and dares you to keep going. Every time you push through an obstacle, every time you refuse to back down, you build a little more confidence, a little more resilience, a little more steel in your spine. That's not just an opportunity for today. It's an investment in tomorrow, a deposit in the bank of your future. The next time trouble comes knocking, pounding on your door with its fists, you'll look it in the eye and say, I've beaten worse than you, and I'll beat you too. Obstacles don't just reveal your strength, they multiply it. Now don't go it alone, because you weren't meant to carry the world on your shoulders solo. One of the biggest mistakes folks make is thinking they have to tackle every obstacle by themselves, like some lone wolf howl and wolf moan.
There's no shame in asking for help, none whatsoever. Surround yourself with people who believe in you, who'll lift you up when you're down in the dirt, who'll brainstorm with you when you're stuck staring at a blank wall. 2 heads are better than 1, and 3 are better than 2. It's simple arithmetic. Sometimes an obstacle looks impossible because you're staring at it from the wrong angle, too close to see the forest for the trees. A friend, a mentor, a teammate, they can step back and spot the path you missed, the crack in the wall you didn't notice. And when you work together, when you put your heads and hearts in the same harness, you don't just overcome the obstacle, you create opportunities that wouldn't have existed otherwise. You build bridges, you open doors, you turn a solo struggle into a team triumph. Don't be too proud to reach out. Pride's a heavy load that'll sink you faster than the obstacle itself. Let's talk timing for a minute, because obstacles don't send you a calendar invite to let you know when they're coming. They don't always show up at convenient times. In fact, they rarely do. They barge in when you're already stretched thin, when you've got a full plate and no room for dessert. But here's the thing, and I want you to lean in close for this. What looks like bad timing might just be perfect timing in disguise, a setup for something greater than you can see right now. A setback today could be setting you up for a comeback tomorrow, a slingshot pulling you back before it launches you forward. I've seen it happen time and time again, in lives big and small. People lose a job and find a better one that fits their gifts like a glove. They miss a chance, watch it sail by, and then stumble into a bigger one they never saw coming. The obstacle forces a detour, a sharp turn off the path you'd planned, and that detour takes them somewhere they never would have gone otherwise, somewhere better, brighter, more fulfilling. Trust the process, even when it feels like chaos. Keep moving forward, one step at a time, even when the timing feels off. When the clock seems to be ticking against you, the opportunity is there, hidden in the shadows. It's just waiting for you to catch up, to step into the light and claim it. One more thing, and this is critical. Don't let fear stop you in your tracks. Obstacles can look big and scary, towering over you like a giant, casting a shadow across your path. Fear will creep in, whispering in your ear, "You can't do this, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough." But let me tell you something straight. Fear is a liar. It's a bully that talks a big game but backs down when you stand up to it. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's not about feeling invincible or unshakable. Courage is action in the face of fear, taking that first step even when your knees are shaking and your palms are sweaty. When you take that step, when you move forward despite the trembling, you'll find that the obstacle isn't as big as it looked from a distance. It shrinks with every stride you take. And every step after that gets easier, every move smoother, until you're running where you used to crawl. Fear wants you to freeze, to turn to stone right where you stand. Opportunity wants you to move, to dance, to soar. You choose which one wins, every single day, with every single choice. So here's the bottom line, folks, the truth you can take to the bank. Obstacles are inevitable, as sure as the sun rises and sets, but they're not invincible. They're not here to stop you cold. They're here to shape you, to stretch you, to show you what you're capable of when the chips are down. Change your attitude. See the challenge instead of the chain. Take action. Don't just sit there stewing in the soup of self-pity. Learn the lessons, because every fall has a teaching moment. Persist through the tough spots. Keep digging when the well runs dry. Get creative. Build a new path when the old one's blocked. Lean on others, because no one climbs a mountain alone. Trust the timing, even when it feels like the clock's broken. And push past the fear, because you're tougher than it thinks you are. Do that, do all of that, and you'll find that every obstacle is a doorway to something better, a gate swinging open to a field of possibility. You're not a victim of your circumstances, tossed around by the winds of fate. You're a victor over them, a champion in the making. The opportunity is there, waiting for you to claim it, to reach out and grab it with both hands. Go get it. You've got everything you need to turn that mountain into a molehill, and that molehill into a gold mine. Start today, right now, this very minute. The world's waiting to see what you'll do next, and I've got a feeling it's going to be something extraordinary. But